All right, good afternoon and welcome back to the Go Wellness Practice Accelerator Challenges. This is your host of the day, Kate Archibald, and I am stoked to be with everybody on this beautiful, sunshiny Valentine's Day, and hope you guys are all having a great day. Yeah, so we got the badass Go Wellness team here with us. So we got the amazing Annie Asher. How's it going, Annie?
Pretty good. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we jump into the topic, Annie, any updates? We got our event coming up very soon.
So our event is like coming up in a week and a half, or just shy of 2 weeks. So February 26th. Live attendance is closed, so sorry for all of you who did not hop on the bandwagon earlier. We still have virtual attendance open. For those of you who are not signature members, you can reach out and I can send you pricing if you would like to attend virtually. It's going to be such a great event. We have so many great guest speakers. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things. I could pull up the agenda if you'd like. We can go through it really quick. What do you think?
Yeah, let's just take a look at the agenda real quick. I want to go through that with everyone.
All right, so we've got 2 days of super awesome content. So I hope you're ready to learn and grow, and this is just going to fuel the rest of your year for success. So we've got all these great key speakers, Reagan, of course, Kate, of course, Dr. Dan, our fave. Michael Burnoff is going to be coming in, dropping all the communications wisdom that we all need to be successful in both life and business. Leslie from Red is going to be talking past, present, future marketing. Michael Caruso from VPI Compounding Pharmacy is going to be there. He's going to be talking about like exercise physiology and how to kind of boost endurance for workouts and all that. The amazingly talented Dr. Eckel is going to be talking about the original like bioenergetics, Emperor's Medicine. And then we've got Wes Watts from Cellcore Biosciences. Like they're really getting about like the root of disease, like working on mitochondrial health is their whole thing. So they're really wonderful. We'll be talking, of course, other things like how to implement peptides, new programs, ROF, inflammation, toxins, glyphosate, all that good stuff. So don't miss it. This is going to be such a great event. We've got some really fun dinners and cocktail parties planned too. So I feel sorry for anyone who didn't register in time, but next time. But that's all I've got.
It's going to be fun. So what I'm going to do is I'll do an overview of kind of session one and what the energy is behind it to get people just a little better perspective, because this is when we put the art back into the medicine. And so today, what my goal is by the end of this is that you guys have this really cool understanding of why we use Picasso and Kanye as metaphors for this session. And then hopefully it'll get your creative juices going. Does that sound cool to everybody? Awesome.
Love it.
All right. So whether you, kind of like Kanye or not, this is not Reagan trying to say you should be a Kanye fan. Actually, I started out this whole metaphor of Kanye West, like leaning on Kanye West to transform healthcare in America. It started out as a joke because I've always thought he was so damn ridiculous in his ideas, and like he was, I was like, oh, he's such a narcissist. He's just like, thinks he's the world's best artist, and then I actually started like, because I wrote the article and I just wrote it as one of my. It's kind of like basically a letter that I wrote to the Go Wellness community on why we need to step up. And I used a metaphor of like, imagine this Prozac commercial with Kanye and Kim Kardashian. And I just had, I don't know if you remember that, kid, but I just used as an analogy. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, I should probably, before I, clown on him, I should probably look into him more as an artist. And holy smokes, it's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think you discovered, like a hidden gem of a human being that's got some wild, crazy creativity.
Yeah, but he's super inspiring. I mean, when you like, I don't know if you've heard his new song, City of Gods with Alicia Keys. Have you heard
I
that,
don't know that
Kate?
I don't know that I have. What
Woo!
is it
You,
like just barely recently?
oh yeah, just put yourself on mute for a second and we'll watch Cade's face just light up. So let's talk about you and how this relates. You're like, well, what does that have to do with me? Well, first of all, if you look at Kanye, like I look at, oh, you have heard it. Okay.
Yes, it's awesome. Yes,
Solid. He's
very cool.
yeah, Donda, he's coming out with I think Donda 2. Like he's got some really, he's just throwing down right now. And but Kanye, when I started looking into him deeper, the Life of Pablo is one of his albums I just love. My Dark Twisted Fantasy, Life of Pablo. Now Donda takes the it's the pinnacle. But the thing that Life of Pablo is I'd already loved Pablo Picasso, and apparently Kanye does too. But as I learned more about Pablo, I went to Malaga, Spain. I stayed where Pablo Picasso was born. I've been to several of his museums all throughout Europe and Spain, where he's from. But Picasso, the thing I love about him is he's somebody where his mother told him, if you are going to become a bishop or a saint, then you will become the Pope. And his mom also said, if you become a warrior, then you will become the general of the army. And Pablo said, I decided I was just going to become an artist, and I became Picasso. And so it's cool because he like recognized, and he said it takes a long time to become young again. And Pablo Picasso just he took the most complex versions of art, and his original his very first debut was in a Paris Art Museum, and he was like 19 at the time. Pablo's dad was actually an art teacher, and so it gave him some inroads to some pretty high gallery owners and high profile gallery owners right there in Paris. And so Pablo got invited to come in as kind of a new emerging talent in the artistic world. But what Pablo did is he actually mimicked and he made perfect impressions of all of the artists, all the different genres. And he painted it to like perfection, but he'd put like just a little twist on the art, like a little like tutu on like an army general or dignified royalty, or just like a little butterfly next to somebody. And he did all these cool things. And when the doors opened for his very first art show, the paint wasn't even dried when people came in, and they started buying them up. And he sold over 50% of all of the art pieces, and he had hundreds set up there. And he said, that's the day that I stopped copying artists and I stole everything from them, and I became Picasso. And he said, good artists copy, great artists steal. And this is where you guys hear me say that. I'm like, look, find somebody who's already mastered something, and instead of copying it over and over and essentially like plagiarizing, and it's like, well, just make it your own, say, wow, I love those principles. Those are universal principles that you tapped into. This is how I see myself budding, and how I manifest these universal principles in my practice. And so Picasso is a great teacher, and he always was simplifying. I mean, that was a beautiful thing about Picasso is he wanted to make sure, he said, look, the older he got, his art went from like super complicated shapes and like these almost like you're looking at things invertedly, and he had figures with eyeballs that weren't symmetrical, and he really was trying to like push the boundaries of art, and some of his art would look super amateur, but then you'd look at it from a different perspective and it just would blow your mind. And that's what I love about him. But his works later on, I'll show you an image of a horse here for those of you who are watching. Some of you will be listening. Where is that? But the image of the horse, it's basically like a single line, or the cow here, the oxen. This is one of them. He's got one of a horse too, but you can see how his art got simpler and simpler as he went on. So Kate, you can see this final version right down here in the far right corner, right?
Yeah.
Crazy how he just simplified it, isn't it?
Very
He's like,
crazy.
oh, this is
I,
actually how I want, this is how I drew when I was a kid.
yeah, I love the like I don't know why my mind went straight here, but the cack and balls on that bowl is
I'm not
hilarious.
surprised.
I
Okay, it's
like
like, yeah, that's awesome. Just a little bit of twig and berries right there.
like he goes from the big masculine guy to like just very simple. What's deep down inside? They're not that big.
Right. Yeah. And that's, it's the cool thing about it is Picasso, he simplified his art. And I think in medicine, now more than ever, we've complicated medicine like no one's business. I mean, that's why specialists don't talk to each other, is because they're like, well, I don't know what the renal specialist is doing, and I don't know what the cardiologist is doing, or the PCP. I just know my silo right here, and that's dangerous, because what seems to happen is patients are the ones that suffer. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you, and Kate, you don't even know this yet, but some of the new research that I've been digging into and waiting to share are the things that patients want most in healthcare and the things that they desire. And I'm going to be unfolding this at Go Wellness, and I kind of want to give you guys a precursor, but I won't. But it's so much simpler. So this is in the pain. So Saturday is going to be a lot on pain. We're kicking off the day there, and regenerative medicine and all these crazy things. But you guys don't want to miss it, because I'm going to share with you the two things that most doctors think patients want, like complicated diagnostic tools, and then telling me more about the surgeries and the medications. That's not what patients want. Patients really want a simple version of better communication, like, how is this going to, will this give me pain relief? This is number one. And the second thing, I'm going to share with you guys all the results of this research that just got published. Will this get me out of pain? And then how soon can I go back to my day-to-day activities? That's all patients want to know. And so that's why patients are migrating in masses out of the conventional medical model, because it's too complicated. And so, but the problem, and Kate, we've seen this in our clinics, is we hire great, brilliant doctors, and all they want to do is take our model and complicate it. And what have you seen has been the end result of more complexity?
Lower launch or slower launch time, or just no launch at all. Just constantly research, and and then usually the delivery, when it's too complex, it creates a bigger, harder for the patients to interact with. It's there's just a lot of challenges that come when you overcomplicate these things. Especially we've tried to simplify it as much as possible, but it is, it's already, there's some complexities, especially with functional medicine. Regenerative medicine's a little simpler, because it's usually like a one-time procedure and then some follow-up. Whereas, when you're getting labs involved and changing lifestyle and different diets and different variables, it makes it a lot more difficult. So if you can simplify it, it's so much better. And so we've created a simple process, but there's lots of us out there like to complicate it.
Yeah, that's a true story. So in this, and I've asked Annie to share this with everybody. Annie, I don't know if you would mind posting this too, but if you guys haven't read this, it's pretty darn good. Hey everybody, Reagan Archibald here. I hope you enjoyed the Go Wellness show and maybe learned a couple things you could apply to your practice. If you're a healthcare entrepreneur who wants to work in an academic think tank with like-minded humans who are just like you, looking to provide better service, better quality of care for your patients, reach us at info@gowellness.com, and we're happy to do a free practice analysis for you.